Hello, welcome to Talk of the Town. I am your host, Abby on the Avenue, Marketing Director for Appleton Downtown Incorporated. Talk of the Town is a podcast where we shine a spotlight on the people, places, and passion in our community. Each episode, we engage in meaningful conversations with community ambassadors and local business owners as they share their stories about what makes our district thrive. Whether you're a history buff, foodie, music lover, or something in between, there's something here for everyone. Join us as we uncover the stories of what makes downtown Appleton one great place. Today, we're switching things up for this episode to help tell the story of who Appleton Downtown Inc., or ADI as it's often referred to, is, to help give listeners a better understanding of our mission and what we do to help make downtown Appleton one great place. Before we dive in, let me introduce our guests that we have on this week. Jennifer Stephany, Executive Director of Appleton Downtown Incorporated, and Steve Lonsway, current ADI Board President and owner of Stone Arch Brew Pub. Both are extraordinary leaders for our organization and big downtown advocates, and I couldn't think of anyone better to join us to help share more about our story. Welcome, Jen and Steve.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much for coming on. This is a great way for us to help share a little bit about who we are and what we do and, kind of the faces and brains, the minds behind things that go on in downtown Appleton.
The engine behind
Yes.
the work. Yes.
The steamboat.
Whoop,
Choo-choo. So
We're
here we
excited.
go. Yes. So before we jump in, I just want to talk a little bit more about who you guys are, who ADI is, why we exist, just a little bit about our mission. So if you want to just briefly introduce yourselves, tell us a little bit about your history, how you got into, your roles that you're in with ADI.
Awesome. I'd love to. Well, I'm Jennifer Stephany. I've been with Appleton Downtown Incorporated for 22 years, and it's been a blink of an eye.
Yes.
The blink of an eye.
She started when she was 16.
Right. Yes. Just a babe. It's been an incredible journey, actually. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't be more proud to be part of an organization like this. The 22 years does not seem like it's been 22 years at all. So much has changed and evolved, both with downtown as well as the work that we do and how we engage in the community. So I'm really excited to be able to tell a little bit about our story. So I'll let Steve introduce himself.
So I'm Steve Lonsway, current president of Appleton Downtown Incorporated, as well as owner of Stone Arch Brew Pub and Stone Arch Tide House. I got started with ADI actually as a vendor at Farmers Market. I don't know how long ago, a long time ago, probably 18. It was one of the biggest and best marketing campaigns we really did. It really put us on the map, I think, and connected with the community, and have grown into, My Own Music. We've partnered with that, ended up being on the board, I think, for about 10 plus years, and worked my way up to president. So here I am.
Ta-da.
Awesome. That's great. Yeah. We're so fortunate to have the both of you and the leadership that you provide to help make our organization thrive. So thank you both for everything that you do. So now that we, heard a little bit about who you guys are, I think it's good to start off with who ADI even is, because a lot of people don't realize, that we're an organization. Do we stand alone? So just to talk a little bit about our mission statement, our team, let's just give people a nice little overview here.
All right, let's give them the overview. Well, the mission to create and curate a vibrant and accessible destination for business, learning, living, and leisure. And no, I didn't have to read that.
That's all memorized, everybody, I promise.
It's up in the board in the conference room. It's on the majority of our documents. Mm-hmm. We live and breathe it each and every day. We are a very small team. We're a team of 6.5, and we're lean and we get it done.
Small but mighty.
Small and mighty, we always say. Yes, absolutely. We have a few additional folks that join us throughout the farm market season, which is great because that's a heavy lift at 5:30 a.m. every Saturday morning. So we're very, very fortunate to have a team that helps us do that, including volunteers, which you will get around to. We do certainly lean on a large team of volunteers, including board members, that help to guide us and to fulfill our mission. So it's really critical and important. The more people that engage, the better.
Yes. Yeah. Like Jen said, we will dive into it later, but truly we couldn't do what we do without the amazing volunteers that we have. So a huge shout out to them, the ones that are there every Thursday night for our concert series, or the ones that come in and help with office, duties and all of that. We couldn't do it without you. So thank you.
Yeah, there's a huge range. And Steve, I think you would agree that we have a really nice variety of representation on the board of directors.
Absolutely. And that's key for a successful entity like this, is to have different mindsets. And I really like how we all come together, and a lot of things are brought to the table with that. So it's a strong system.
For sure. I think the most common misconception is that we're a department of the city of Appleton. We are not. We are a standalone, not-for-profit organization. We are a 501c6 organization that was formed in 1991. So we've been around a while. And it was really evolved out of the business association that was prior to a formal structure, if you will.
Yes.
So that was the start. Mm-hmm. And then in 2001, the Business Improvement District was developed. And if you're not familiar with what that means, that is a self-taxing entity whereby the properties within our district have a special assessment placed on them. Those dollars are collected by the city of Appleton. And as we do approved work within our plan, we can get reimbursed out of that pool of money. So it covers about 25% of our full budget, but is absolutely critical money. So we're able to do things like image marketing for the district, business recruitment grants, facade grants. It's absolutely critical dollars.
Yes, absolutely. So that's, one of the functions of our organization. And then obviously, ADI Appleton Downtown, but then we also have our 501c3 Creative Downtown Appleton.
Yeah. So the 501c3 was developed in 2015, and it really created that third arm, or I always call it the three-legged stool, right? So that third entity is focused in on creating a more artistic and creative environment, which is really a cool thing. But it allowed us an opportunity to apply for grants, whereby the 501c6 wouldn't have that. So it really did provide a variety of funding sources that I think is really critical for an organization like ours. So the bid provides that really sustainable dollar support. The 501c3 allows us to create murals and do art events and apply for grants that the 6 cannot. And together we all raise sponsorship dollars, which is about 35% of our overall budget comes from sponsorship for the events and the work that we do. That's a heavy lift.
Yes.
Indeed.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's a very unique structure. And I know that you've talked about before how different, downtowns and other places have reached out and have mentioned, like, how do you do this? Like, can we start doing this? So it's a unique way for us to, function in order to do all the amazing things that we do.
It is. And we do get asked around the state, kind of what came first, the chicken or the egg, right? The bid or the business association, the 501c6 or the 3. So I really am proud of the structure that came together. And it took a whole lot of people to make all of that happen, of course. But it really does work, and it's very effective.
Absolutely. Yeah. So as we're talking about the, different functions and the layers that we have with our organization, I think you mentioned it a little bit earlier, Jen, about the collaborative structure that we have and how the different entities work together, especially, in terms of the role of the board of directors and how they work together. So I know you mentioned a little bit earlier, Steve, but just so people can understand, the different types of organizations that we have represented on the board and how you guys kind of work together to make decisions. And if you want to talk, a little bit more about that.
So the board, the main opportunity that the board has is to keep everybody on track with the mission statement and staying true to that. And that's where it's so nice to have such a diverse board. Like I said, a lot of different mindsets come in, and that really is what it takes. We go over the budgeting, making sure the budget's there, talking about future growth, which is a big thing, not just looking at today and tomorrow, but looking at next week and next year and further than that. So really good. And then helping with staff recruitment, keeping the staff that's here retained. So all those things kind of come together, and it takes a team.
Absolutely.
It takes a big team.
Steve, you had mentioned planning for the future, and I think that's a really important piece of our work, especially right now, is both of the boards, the Business Improvement District Board and the ADI Board, have come together to do strategic planning and to look 3 to 5 years out to say what's coming next and how do we stay relevant and do the critical work that we're needed to do to keep moving downtown forward. It's a big project.
It is.
It is. Yeah.
It's really fun.
It is.
It's neat to be a part of it as well, to see how it all plays out. And again, bringing up the different mindsets that come together, it's really neat. It's a neat process.
Yeah, we've been talking a lot about our why, why we exist and what our clear role is in downtown. Our role is not super clear because we do so many different things.
We do.
So I think part of that is really getting the board to wrap their arms around all the different jobs and tasks that we fulfill in downtown and how that's changing with a new residential development and engagement there. I mean, it really has changed a bit.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think that, it goes back to the importance of having such, a diverse board and, in terms of the type of work you do. We have business owners, we have realtors, we have developers, we have
downtown residents.
Yes. There's so many, different avenues and groups of people that are represented on the board. So when we're doing the strategic planning, it's so nice to have those different representations available as we're looking into the future, into what, downtown could be. Is the momentum is just continuously growing, which is exciting to be a part of on our side as well.
Good. Yeah. The staff is absolutely engaged in that process as well, of course.
It's very
we're really
fun.
Thrilled about, but we have a really strong committee structure as well. And I'm going to talk a lot about engagement here while we're speaking about downtown, because that's what makes it tick. That's what keeps it moving forward, is all the different people, all the different perspectives that come to the table that say, even the ones that say, hey, I have an idea. I love that.
We do.
I mean, and we honestly take that to heart, and that committee work is fun. And we're looking always for more business owners to get involved and to get engaged.
Yes. Yeah. It's kind of the next level down in terms of commitment, but still engagement with the organization and what's happening downtown, is to be able to come in on that committee level, whether you're a hospitality business, a retail business, our image marketing committee that comes in to, talk about the important marketing work that we do, and, economic development. We have so many different, ways to bring those ideas to the table, outside of just being on the board. There are other ways that our downtown stakeholders can engage and be a part of that structure too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think, another important part of our structure is our partnerships. We partner a lot with the city of Appleton. While we are not part of the city of Appleton, we still have a very strong partnership with them, the Convention and Visitors Bureau, the Chamber of Commerce, and the Fox Cities here. So if you want to talk a little bit about those partnerships and how they play a role in our function.
They are critical. You are absolutely right. And we're really blessed to have a strong network of partners. And I think the board is certainly part of that. Beyond that, like you had mentioned, the CVB that's the Convention and Visitors Bureau, and the Fox Cities Performing Arts Center, the Building for Kids, all of the attractions in downtown become really critical partners with us as we're trying to program and create that connectivity between activities. The city of Appleton is absolutely our strongest partner, I would say. Everything that we do touches a department of the city of Appleton, and to have their support and their partnership is why we're able to do what we do. So thank you, City of Appleton, City Council members, Mayor Jake Woodford, and all the department heads that take my call daily and probably roll their eyes when they see an email come in from me. Oh, what is Jen up to now?
What ideas does she have?
What does she want to do now?
Yes. So we appreciate that. And just all the things that, like you said, the Convention and Visitors Bureau, strong partners of ours, and the grant funding they provide, they see our vision and our mission and help make some of those things possible as they're out there promoting all of the Fox cities and, the Fox Cities Chamber, helping the businesses down here and beyond, supporting them as well, and great events that they put on too, that we're great partners on. So just important to have those as well. I know we talked a little bit about this earlier, but just the brief breakdown of how we're funded, because I think another common misconception is that, people think it's their taxpayer dollars that are funding some of the things that we're doing. So just, the different levels of, funding that we have.
Yeah. Thanks for asking that and bringing that up, because it's probably the question I get asked the most is, how are you funded? When I'm out talking about our organization, of course. And the Business Improvement District is that 25% kind of solidified critical dollars that we know we can count on. That's the known element in our budget. Looking at Steve, he's like, yep. Because when you're in the event business, it fluctuates quite a bit. And a lot of our budget is prediction based on past, of course, but the events that we host are absolutely key to our funding and our budget to make sure that we have dollars to pay rent and to pay our utilities and to pay our staff and to do the things that we're doing. So the events will generate the majority of our budget. And like I said, 35% of that comes from the sponsorship from the businesses and individuals that support us throughout the year. And there's a wide range of those. I mean, they start at, I'll say probably $350 for sponsoring a golf hole and all the way up. So
all the way up to our,
there's no limit.
No,
there is no limit.
No limit. No ceiling, everybody. No. So if you're interested in being a sponsor of ours, feel free to contact us. But we're very appreciative of that. And it's a very interesting structure that, like you said, fluctuates in terms of funding. So we depend a lot on, community support of those events and sponsorship support. So we appreciate everybody that's able to contribute that way. So as we dive deeper into some of our work, we will, talk a little bit more about the different, functions of our organization, from that Business Improvement District down to, ADI, Appleton Downtown Incorporated. So let's talk a little bit more about the bid first and just, the function of that. Because, even I've been working with the ADI for almost 4 years, and it's tricky. It's an interesting function for sure, and not something that everybody really understands. And that is a portion of us that is, tied to the city a little bit, but it's also a very strong part of our work. And, for me specifically, in terms of some of the marketing and things like that we do. But, the grants that we're able to provide and the support for those businesses. So let's dive into that a little bit deeper.
I love that. Well, you mentioned marketing, and that's probably one of the easier visual pieces of our work is everybody knows us for the events and that's great, excuse me. But the marketing, image marketing is a big part of that. And the bid does help to support the image marketing. It's telling that story. It's the One Great Place brand. It's putting out printed pieces, doing billboards, doing radio. And we wouldn't be able to do any of that without that solidified funding from the Business Improvement District. The other piece is business recruitment. And as much as I love the events and of course interacting with all the business owners, recruiting in a new business gives you that high, that's that excitement.
It's a huge excitement. Yes,
it's really
we all get
exciting.
Very into it.
Absolutely. And we have a funding source that allows us to be able to do some small granting to businesses that are coming in. We have a small business recruitment grant. It's not a lot of money, but it's up to $1,000 to say welcome to the district. Put this towards your rent. It's typically based on the amount of rent that a business pays. We also have facade grants, and those grants cover a wide range from improvements on the outside of the building, and it also includes signage. And a lot of grant programs don't include signage because it does change often. However, having a business that is professionally signed and promoted makes all the difference, especially in a downtown where you got foot traffic, right? You want to be able to tell your story really quick, really concise, and in a beautiful manner. So those signage grants are part of the facade program, but really important to us.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's just amazing the support that we're able to give those businesses through the grants and through the one-on-one support. I've seen all of the great things that you do, Jen, just to sit down with them, helping them find the perfect space, telling the story about who we are and how we can support them, not only when they first open through these grant programs, which can continue after they're open, but also just the support of being part of our events and including them in the district and just helping them, continue to thrive and get their name out there. So it's just great to see. And it's fun to be a part of, to watch them grow and expand or relocate and, all those different things. So it's a journey, really good.
Right? As a business owner, having a little additional support, helpful?
Absolutely. Yes. It's a big, scary world out there. Yeah. And when you're starting a new business, there's a lot of things, and just having one less thing to think about and knowing that you have that personal connection and you have that support, it means the world, because you're looking for it. You need it.
Yes. Every dollar counts.
Mm-hmm. And not only that, but navigating some of the processes with the city, with a landlord, with finding the right location. I mean, right? Location.
Oh, for sure.
Yes,
for sure.
Absolutely. Everyone's got different needs. Yeah, so it's, it really just depends, but there's always a space we can find for you.
I always say I'm not a real estate agent, but I get to play when at work, which is really fun. It probably my favorite days are when I get to tour a potential new tenant around some of the buildings downtown, and it's awesome because I can tell the story. I can talk about each one of the blocks and the uniqueness, because our district changes a little bit east to west, and talk about some of the businesses, introduce them to some of the business owners there who could be their neighbors, and set them up maybe even with a mentor, somebody downtown that can help guide them and give them a little bit more than what we can in a direct sense. So it's really a great partnership.
Absolutely. Yeah. And, another layer that we talk about here with the bid is, keeping downtown clean, safe, and friendly. It's a very important part of our work as well. We work with the CARE program. We now have a new staff member that's helping us complete this mission. But, all of that kind of contributes to that overall image, brand, and representation of downtown, to, make sure people feel safe. They look around and it's very clean and that very friendly atmosphere.
Right. We have a very high standard of clean. And we're struggling a little bit to keep up with that, and we want to make sure that we do. So hiring an additional staff person was a huge step for us. Yes. And the part-time position, but somebody who is out there about 4 or 5 days a week, actually. And if you see Jim, give him a high five. Tell him he's doing a great job.
Yes, he's awesome.
He's out there picking up garbage, removing graffiti, watching for overgrown weeds, for broken glass, for just dirty sidewalks. We're trying to get those power washed. That's one of those extra projects. So making sure the flowers look good. Those are projects that we take on as the Business Improvement District in downtown, where we're a partner with the city of Appleton, because it is a heavy lift. It's a big district.
It is.
So our organization pays for the flowers. The city of Appleton plants them and waters them. It's a great example of that partnership and how critical it really is.
Yeah, very collaborative. So there's so much work going on behind the scenes. So just know that, it's something that we're constantly working on as an organization.
Trying.
Yes, to do and to make sure that everything is great for you when you're coming downtown. So now we're jumping into the fun stuff here as we jump into ADI and talk a little bit more about that and the events and our promotions, because that's what we're most known for. You mentioned that earlier about that's, one of the biggest reasons why people are coming to downtown. So let's, talk a little bit about the structure of our promotions, our events, the involvement that our businesses can have, and, what makes that a big part of our organization.
I think that's absolutely critical that the businesses engage in the events. We can create an event all day long, but if the businesses don't want to be there and engage in it,
exactly.
Right? I mean, Steve, you mentioned farm market and that being, kind of a jumping off point for some of your brands and really diving in and creating that market around your products. And I mean, it makes a difference, right?
It really does. It's the best thing that we did when we started out, because we took over an already operational restaurant, brew pub, and I think it was 3 years into it, people still didn't know that it was a new owner. And being in front of the mass of people that visits farm market, it was a great opportunity for us, and obviously selling product and getting our product in front of them, but just telling our story. And that gave us a great avenue to do it. So.
That one-on-one connection with a customer is not easy to get nowadays.
No, harder now.
Much harder now, right? There's a lot of white noise, and we're all struggling to find our space within social media and grab somebody's connection.
Absolutely.
But to be able to do that one-on-one with people walking by your product and meeting you as the brew.
The brewmaster.
The brewmaster.
Yeah.
I love that. Isn't that a fun title?
So cool.
But that, that is, not, of course we do these events to help bring people down and for the community to enjoy and see how great downtown is. But, the true essence behind it is the support of our downtown businesses. So all the events that we do are, for you guys and to support and help sustain your business, get people in your door. So it's critical.
It is. I was thinking about night market the other day and taking a kind of a mental walk up and down that event and trying to count the number of small businesses that we impacted, whether they were a vendor, a food truck, one of the businesses open that night along the stretch, a performer who, yes, is a small business owner.
Absolutely.
And it was well over 100 small businesses that we impacted with that one event. And I thought, all right, we're really onto something pretty spectacular. And the night markets are soon becoming my favorite. I don't know if you haven't been to night market. August 22nd is our next night market. And it's going to have a little bit of a sports theme to it, which is going to be cool. I know we're talking about ADI, not downtown events, but that one is really going to be awesome.
It is. But that's a big part of ADI and who we are is, the events. And that's what, helps make that function. And, while we talk about all of the great events we do, we are, we don't own all of them.
No.
There are a lot of great partners that we have that put on some of the largest events that we have in downtown Appleton. I mean, Mile of Music coming up very quickly here as well, July 31st.
Yes.
First weekend in August.
Yes.
Summer flies and all of a sudden Mile's here. And Steve plays a big part in Mile of Music and as their brew partner.
Yep.
Is that a fun way to say that?
Yes,
that's
brew
perfect. We joined in with the concept year one. They came to us with this idea. I didn't think they'd be able to pull it off as quickly as they did, but with the support of obviously ADI and the businesses and the want was there, and they pulled off an amazing event, which we're going on 12.
I was going to say 12 years later, and it's still thriving, and
So
it's
awesome.
The energy and the vibe that comes from that event downtown it gives me chills every year. It's absolutely amazing.
Huge shout out to Willem's Marketing and Events and the entire Mile of Music team that make that event come to life, because it truly is remarkable and has branded us as really a city of song, if you will, and how we embrace original live music. I don't think every community could do a Mile of Music. I think it's really something special for who we are as Appleton and really the entire Fox Cities. But to have a walkable downtown the way we do, which is critical to that event and really drives business into the individual venues. And that's how he designed it. That's how Dave Willems designed it.
And you talk about small businesses and performers. These artists are small business owners too. And
absolutely. That comes from all over the world.
For sure. And how it impacts them and their brand, that's what's cool. I tear up every year.
Yes.
There's no doubt.
It's truly remarkable. And it, while it's on our event, it still, meets the core of our mission with those events is to, help support those small businesses. Like you just said, Steve, not only the artists, but the great businesses we have in downtown, whether you're a venue or, a retail shop, an attraction, you're open, the coffee shops, and you're ready to welcome the thousands of visitors that we have that come to that, great event. So make sure to listen to our podcast with Dave and Kim talking all about Mile of Music and the why behind it. But we're very excited to have them on to talk about that as well. But we also have Oktoberfest that's put on by the Fox Cities Chamber of Commerce, another amazing partner of ours that for sure puts on, again, one of the largest events that we have here right in downtown Appleton.
Without a doubt. It is
incredible.
It is incredible. And it takes a whole lot of volunteers. So if you're listening and you love that event, please sign up to volunteer. They really do need the help and the support. We are a production partner of Oktoberfest as well as Mile of Music, and we're really proud to be a part of that. And it, like you said, it takes a village, right?
It does.
And we can't do it all. They can't do it all, but together we can do a lot. And it's been amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. And of course we have the parades that the city of Appleton puts on. Those are great. We have, we just finished up Memorial Day, the Flag Day parade. We've got the Christmas parade, of course.
Ahead of us. Yes.
We're very proud partners of that as well, to have Megan on our team, who's her family legacy, to continue that on. It's
the
great.
Otis family.
Yes. They will be coming on the podcast probably closer to the Christmas parade to come talk about the history of all of the parades and how, they've come to be what they are today. But just another great event, or series of events, I should say, that, again, just bring more people into downtown Appleton. So, and it's great, right? Absolutely. So that's, those are some of the things that we partner on, but really all of these events are what helps sustains ADI, especially some of our bigger ones. We've mentioned the farm market every Saturday. Come on down. It's amazing. Our High Music Summer Concert Series, which is very important. Our Light the Night Market that we've been doing, some of our larger sustaining events for our organization, but we've got some smaller ones along the way. Some of our walks that we do, which are also really fun. Soup Walk, Death by Chocolate, craft beer walk.
There's beer walk.
So many amazing, so many amazing ones. But all of those are, critical in helping, sustain ADI.
For sure. It all plays a role. And, Steve, you mentioned the involvement from the businesses, and it's hard. It's a big ask of a business. We're asking you to put on extra staff, maybe to stay open late. And that plays a toll on a team, doesn't it?
It really does, but it doesn't feel that, at least on my end. Getting people into our place is obviously what we're trying to do as well. And for ADI to bring the masses to the district, it's awesome. And the more businesses that engage with that will be more successful.
We should mention that night market, we do work with all three of the breweries downtown.
We do.
And that's been a really great thing. Hopefully your teams have enjoyed that.
We have a really good relationship, so it's fun for us to show off together. And the coolest thing, and it happens every time, people walk up just confused, like, why are three competitors working together? We're not competitors. We're all in the craft beer industry. We want people to understand all our brands, and the collaborative work that we do it's pretty special. That might be a podcast on its own.
I was just going to say that.
Absolutely, it would be. It's on my list.
Yes.
All right.
Oh, so fun.
I mean,
right? The craft beer culture
it's crazy
growing.
how, in our district, I mean, it's a good size, not saying we're small necessarily, but within that we have 3 breweries, which is just incredible.
Almost 4.
Almost 4, yeah.
We're coming up on 4, absolutely. As Vault 202 is opening.
Yeah,
and
they'll be brewing downtown.
It's really, really cool. So definitely if you're a craft beer connoisseur, you already know, but the amazing craft beer culture that we have here in downtown Appleton. All right, so let's move on to our final leg here of our organization, which is Creative Downtown Appleton. And you mentioned it's literally creating that creative environment for, local artists. We have our public art, murals, sculptures, an art trail that's coming up, the project that we're discussing, projection, just a variety of different ways that we incorporate public art throughout the year.
Public art is probably one of my favorite things to do in my job. I love being able to be a part of that. I am not an artist, but I have been very blessed to meet so many amazing artists right here in our community, and to have a chance to work with them, for them to share their craft and their just beauty in how they see Appleton and the community, and then to share that. So Paint the City is probably one of my favorites right now. We get to work with Neo Medina and the Appleton Area School District, and they paint for 2 weeks in downtown. And you can come and paint. You can sign up to paint alongside of the students. And
it's free.
And it's free to do. It's really cool. And this year we will be behind the city center, or behind Fox Commons, I should say, behind Fox Commons, in that alleyway back there, and really bringing it to life, giving it some color and design and beauty. And that public art element within a downtown is really critical. And I know it feels like softscape and not a part of the core mission, but it absolutely is, because people, when they come to a downtown, they want to feel comfort, and they want interesting environment to be in, and public art helps to do that. And it's also a message of inclusion. When we did the traffic control box project, and we brought in images from a variety of cultures within our community and put those on display, it sends a message that this place is for everyone. And I hope that comes across clear, that it is for everyone. And the public art that we're working on right now, we have the Paint the City project that'll be happening this summer. There's a new mural on the 800 block. Check that out. It is a welcome to Appleton postcard style mural.
Yep. When you're coming in on the West End, you can come and check that out. It's one that's been in the making for a long time, but one that I've really been excited for, because as a marketer, I'm like, oh, what a nice photo op, everybody. So definitely check that out as you're coming in.
It's elevated though, so it's hard to get a selfie with it, but it's going to be cool. It's going to be a nice welcome. The Avenue of Angels is another one of those projects that we do during the holiday, and we just had to do that campaign, raise some dollars to refurbish those, and we're so grateful for all of the amazing support that we received during that campaign.
Yes,
they're in process. They're going to shine bright, I promise. But then it's, what's the next story?
Yes.
Like, what's the next thing that we can bring in? And how do we keep enhancing downtown with more public art, with more lights, with more projection? We now, thanks to the Convention and Visitors Bureau, own some outdoor projectors. We had them at night market. We'll use them again. We'll continue to use them. We don't have them up all the time. It's very difficult to find that kind of safe spot to be able to do that, but we're excited to have those as a feature with our special events throughout the year. So be watching for that projection. It's always fun. Our park light comes out. All of those elements are part of the 501c3 and how we make it an interesting, creative, beautiful, friendly environment, because environment matters.
Absolutely.
Downtown.
Yeah, that's critical. Mm-hmm. So as we kind of wrap things up in terms of explaining our function here in our organization, Jen, if you just want to briefly touch on, some of the special projects that we have coming up.
Well, I mentioned the strategic planning, and that's going to help to pave our way for some of the new projects and how we want to progress as a downtown. We have a youth advisory board that we're working on with Appleton Area School District and Lawrence University, because we do want to engage the youth. They are the next users of downtown. They are the future, if you will, right? And we're hopefully going to be able to get some really great insight into what do they love about downtown and what's missing from downtown that's going to engage them and get them spending time down here. And how do we make sure that it's clean, safe, and friendly for them as well as an older population in our district, in talking about access. And we have that conversation often with the city of Appleton. And as we're watching for things like ramps and sidewalk condition. So those are some of the things that we do behind the scenes to, if there's a big crack in the sidewalk, we pay attention to that. It becomes that particular. So cleanliness always high on our list, and safety as well. We come together every month with Appleton Police Department, Pillars, some of our other partners, and we talk about safety in our district because that is a high priority for us as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. So as we're kind of wrapping up this episode here, I have a question for both of you. Steve, we'll start with you. What is one thing that you want people to remember after listening to this episode?
Engagement. Engage in what we do as a board, as the staff, and the other businesses that are engaging. The more people, the merrier. So engage in what we do and be a part of it.
Absolutely.
We probably should have compared notes. Right.
Oh, that was Jen's word as well.
No, I got a little more.
Were you cheating?
I always have more words. It's a curse. Appleton truly is an amazing place. Downtown is a special place, and we're just one of the organizations working to advance it. So I'm going to echo you, Steve, and say, get involved, because the more people giving of their time, talents, and treasures, we can get further faster. And this place is just going to continue to get better and better and better.
Wow. That was a mic drop moment right there.
I agree.
Both of you. That was amazing. All right. One last question here for you both. Jen, we can start with you here. Sure. What do you think makes downtown Appleton one great place? Now, I know you're going to say a lot of things, but you got to pick one.
I have words. Well, I'm going to sum it up, I think, pretty well.
All right.
So there's a book out there and a movement called The Power of 10. And it identifies a great place by having at least 10 points of interest, unique points of interest. And I think we blow that out of the water. Yes. I think when you think about downtown and all that there is to do and see, we by far outpace that.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. So follow us on Facebook, our other feeds, our website, our e-blast, so you know what's popping up next, because I guarantee you it's going to be worth your time.
I'm going to say collaboration is what makes downtown Appleton what it is. The businesses, the board, the staff, again, everything, repeating what I said earlier, but working all together and making it one great place.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to say it.
It is. Absolutely. And you touched on that collaboration earlier, and I, interviewed Bill Wetzel, owner of Akoka as well. And he talked about that collaboration too, and how, we have a great coffee culture as well. But again, you don't see yourselves as competitors. You see yourselves as, partners who are all creating this culture around, the same idea that you are all passionate about. And just to see that collaboration and how all the businesses work together, whether it is something similar or not that you feature, there's just so much.
All right. I have one final thing to say, and that's how amazing the staff is at Appleton Downtown Incorporated. So Abby and Meg and Megan and Sandy and Mary Beth and Carissa and Jim.
Yes.
Did I get everybody?
Yes.
I got everybody.
Good job. You named all the kids.
You talk about collaboration. This team is tight, and we are a family, and I'm so, so grateful for this team giving 120, 150, 200% all the time.
Yes. And a big thank you to you for, leading us in all the great work that you do as well. I mean,
I love what I do.
You're always working and you're always looking for the next thing, and we appreciate that. And you've helped pave the future for downtown and what it's becoming today and what it's going to be in the future. So,
well, that's going to be the next podcast that I get to do with you, Abby, is we are going to talk more about the future and what's coming for downtown Appleton. So stay tuned.
Absolutely. Yes. So thank you both for coming on today. And thank you, Steve from Stone Arch, for coming on to talk about the amazing things that you do for our board. And we will have you on in the future as well to talk about what you've got brewing.
Nice.
See what I did there?
So good.
You can learn more about us and what we do at Appleton Downtown at appletondowntown.org, or follow us on social media. Just search Appleton Downtown on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and LinkedIn. You can visit our office. We're located at 333 West College Avenue, Suite 100, right on the corner of the Hilton Appleton Paper Valley Hotel. And thank you all for tuning in to Talk of the Town. We'll be back with more stories, more voices, and more reasons to love downtown Appleton. Until next time, keep your ears open. You might just be hearing the next Talk of the Town.